Eddie Muller. Welcome back for the final night of TCM's Neo-Noir series. I am here with my co-host, Ben Mankiewicz, who's been with me for this whole run.
Thanks for including me. This has been fun.
It has been great fun. So we're closing it out tonight with a TCM premiere.
Yeah.
Of a movie made by, look, earlier in the series I talked about Chinatown being my favorite movie. Here is a movie written and directed by the man who wrote the screenplay for Chinatown, Robert Town. Nothing could be hotter than the 3 stars of this movie, right?
Yeah.
Tequila Sunrise is the movie. Tequila Sunrise, which you'll notice the drink is placed strategically on the bar at one point in the film.
No, I did not even.
Just to justify calling it Tequila Sunrise.
Because otherwise, why is it?
There it is.
Yeah.
They don't even call it by name, but the drink is there on the bar.
There is the film-loving community is split on this movie. I mean, I'm sure there's some people who don't care either way, but I know many people who mock this film, right? And there were certainly some critics who didn't like it when it came out. I did very much like it when it came out. Saw it. I've seen it 5 or 6. It's one of those movies that I'll just watch. Seeing it again in preparation for this, I'm like, no, I still
hanging in there.
I'm still in it. Still into it. And a big part of it is the 4th star of it. To me, I mean, this is Mel Gibson, who was as big a star as there was at the time. Kurt Russell, and then Michelle Pfeiffer, and then Raul Julia is the 4th star in it, and he is.
Takes a while for him to show up in the film, but once he does, he takes over the movie.
And he steals every scene he's in, and almost everything he says is at least a little funny.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, you bring up an interesting point, Ben, because those critics who didn't like the movie thought the movie was kind of silly. Mm-hmm. Wasn't that intentional?
Yeah, that's right.
I mean, I think you could make the case that, these weren't missteps that Robert Town was making. This is what he intended to do. I mean, we can't give it away, but there are certain scenes toward the end of this movie that are clearly meant to, they subvert the cliches of the genre.
Yeah.
Of all the movies made later in the period that we're showing here, right? Like 80s, 90s stuff. This one feels the most like an old film noir to me.
Oh, really?
It's like buddies. We grew up together, but now we're on the wrong side of the law.
Right. That's right. Right. Sure.
I mean, that's like a theme common in film noir. And there's also the restaurant that Michelle Pfeiffer works at. There's always the nightclub restaurant thing in the old noir movies, but the twist here, it's usually presided over by a guy like Dan Duryea or somebody, Burt Lancaster or Kirk Douglas or somebody. But here it's this woman who's the center of the action because she has this public place where she schmoozes everybody. This is very common in noir,
Yeah, she works the room every night.
She works the room. Oh, the judge is over here, and this guy's a drug dealer, and that guy's a cop, and she orchestrates the whole thing.
And she's really good, Michelle Pfeiffer.
She is terrific. She's the toughest one in the movie.
Yes, she certainly is. That's right.
She is great. And it's fascinating to note that his original guy that he wanted, or at least he said was the model for the character of Nick Freesia that Kurt Russell plays in this movie, was L.A. Lakers coach Pat Riley.
He's got the hair exactly right, and the suits.
The suits are identical. It's like they went to Riley's tailor or something and got these suits for Kurt Russell. And all the mannerisms and everything are there.
I just want to say, before we show the movie, like, hanging in there, he'd have to have, with Mel Gibson, and you see it here. And whereas Lethal Weapon, where he's so good, but it's this franchise, and it's a very specific kind of character, and he gets to play crazy. To me, you see here in Tequila Sunrise that, it's not just that this is a handsome, hunky Australian. Like, there is a real meat to Mel Gibson's performances, and he is unbelievably charming here.
Also, fantastic cinematography by Conrad Hall.
Yeah,
I mean, who has shot a couple of the films in this series, but L.A. never looked better than it looks in this movie. So is this a serious crime movie or just a bit of a lark? Well, you get to decide after you see Mel Gibson, Michelle Pfeiffer, Kurt Russell,
and Raul Julia
starring in, from 1988, Tequila Sunrise.